owner because they don't want to pay a commission. You're just saying you don't want to see somebody eat. Because by doing it for sale by owner, it's going to sit on the market longer, right? So you're losing money there. You have to be there to show the house. Yes. So you're losing time there, right? And so on and so forth. But my point is property management is the same thing. We have to start looking at things for the value that they are. Not always looking at, oh, how much money is this going to cost me, right? Or, oh, how can I skimp out here? Things cost money for a reason. Property management is a business model for a reason. Take advantage of it, man, especially in real estate, because every second that you spend doing something unnecessary is taken away from everything that we've been talking about for an hour. Right. Finding properties, evaluating deals, breaking down the numbers. You know what I mean? Like, it's taken away from that. Me driving on the road to go collect rent because I don't want to pay somebody $50 a month to collect the rent is getting away of everything that I just mentioned. I don't write a book if I don't have a property manager. You know what I'm saying? I post a little less on Instagram if I don't have a property manager.
Time is money.
Time is money, yo.
Nah, that's real shit.
Plus, any business, yo, to scale it, you gotta do what?
Invest.
Hire people, but you gotta, hire people is a big one. You gotta automate it. It has to be automated. Like, I can have the best pizza shop in all of New York,
Townhouse,
but I can't never scale it if I'm always flipping the pizzas myself.
Yeah.
There's no way. I can't. It's impossible for me to. I have to train or pay somebody who can flip pizzas equally as well, and then we can just franchise or recreate that model all throughout New York. And now I have a real business and not a mom and pop pizza shop. No matter how good the pizza tastes, it don't matter. So you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the real estate knowledge in the world. If you're not willing to hire people or invest in automating your real estate business, then it's not going to grow. You're just going to be Art Morrison your whole life and never reach J Morrison status. If that makes sense, right? It's never going to be on autopilot. You're just going to be, 1 or 2 properties a year. You collecting rent. You feel good. You own properties. I'm doing my thing, but it's levels to it. Yeah. And I'll be literally a level behind right now if I was trying to be cheap.
Yeah.
Another little kind of more direct personal question: if you were planning to move to, say, Florida, would you buy a house in 2 years? Would you buy a house there now and then?
I'm trying to buy a house in Florida now. A, so I have somewhere to go when it get cold up here, and I'm not here for it. I don't like the cold. A. B, Airbnb. We all know what Airbnb is, and we ain't talk about it today. Yo, it's the future of real estate in general. Forget me having to lock in to you being a tenant. Yeah, it's a sure thing, but now you just get real invested in the property and all that. Airbnb, you're collecting money from everybody.
Get a month's friggin' rent in
a week.
Yeah,
depending on location though. Depending on your location. So Florida, near the beach, near a city, near any attraction, like those are we're looking into owning Airbnbs more, because now you're being paid not for somebody's comfort or stability, but you're being paid for how dope the crib is and how dope the area is. Right? So as the area gets doper, your Airbnb just gets more expensive, you get paid more. As opposed to, you've been living in, so there's a house we're trying to buy in my hometown. I know the people who live in it. They've been renting there for 14 years. I asked them how much rent they pay. They said $1,300. But I know for a fact that in that area,
$2,000
for a 4-bedroom, they rent the whole house. 4-bedroom house, easily $2,200, $2,300 a month. But the landlord, can't just
kick the person
out like that.
Can't just kick them out. Can't just jump them up like that. Just out of morals and even just out of being aware. You're not aware of the market if you're your tenant just paying this. You're not constantly doing market research. I mean, I guess if you're a good businessman, you are. But you're not constantly doing market research to see how much you can jerk your tenant. If you got somebody who pay rent on time every month for 14 years, you leaving them the hell alone. Airbnb is a whole different business model, but it's still real estate. And she and I were looking into Hoboken area, you got Florida, you got all these small cities, Salt Lake City, Utah, Austin, Texas, all these booming real estate markets where you can own a little condo there. Condo costs, what we said earlier, $130,000. Your mortgage would be like $1,100. $1,100, bro. If you charge $100 a night and you get 20 nights,
good.
It's called
$2,000. You profited, yeah. You profited $900 a month, which is more than we get on our multi-unit. You see what I mean? So.
Question.
Yeah.
So obviously, when it comes to real estate, there are places.
They can hear you good on this?
Yeah, always. There are places that we do want to look for, but now, what are the places that you would avoid? So, for example, in Florida, right? We know once a year they are always go for a hurricane or something like that, where shit would just get fucked up, and obviously that leads to properties being messed up.
Not in Florida.
Really?
They built the last.
Really?
Because they know the hurricane.
They know it's coming, bro.
Mm.
You don't ever see no turmoil in Florida. They ain't Houston or.
Shit, I gotta come on.
You see
Miami,
video.
Miami,
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yo,
know.
Miami ain't missing a beat.
I met a couple. I mean, I know a couple people that live in Miami. It's like,
No,
yo,
it
my shit
gets
was
beat
fucked
up, but ain't no houses falling down or there's some broken glass.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, not like completely,
It's
but like, you know what I'm
It's a little
saying?
bit of flooding.
I learned so. One, insurance is the answer to your question.
Boom. Okay.
Insurance, so there's that. But
Boom.
larger than insurance, I learned from doing flips and rehabbing. Yo, this stuff be cheap, bro. You can buy a whole new window for this stuff is cheap. The stuff that's in a house is cheap. It's cheap. It's like not cheap as in cheap, but like inexpensive.
Yeah.
If you're if you own a spot in Florida, bro, and we just made an example where you're profiting $900 a month, and something goes wrong, you have to cough up $3,000. That's means 3 months rent.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's something bad happening.
Not
every
just
3 months.
Florida as well as an example, but
I'm saying in general,
other places like
but the
Houston,
answer
other
really
places
is-
that
the answer
have
really is
natural-
insurance.
Okay.
The answer is insurance. Like be insured. Be smart. I mean, stuff happens, bro. Tragedies happen.
For sure, which it does.
You gotta have a rainy day fund, bro. I mean, have your saving. If something happened more than 2-3 times, you probably have to sell it.
Word.
You know what I mean? But you gotta think when you sell, all your profits come from the equity that was paid down in the property. Who paid down the equity?
Oh.
The tenants, not you.
Oh, I see
So
what
if you
you're
buy a property for $100,000, the mortgage is $2,000. I'm making up a number, $2,000 a month, and your tenants is paying $2,500. $500 goes to your pocket. $2,000 goes where? Not to no bills. It goes to the equity of the property. You see what I'm saying? So when you sell that property, you get all that money back too, which is why, like in the buy and hold strategy, you either hold it for 5 to 10 years and sell, or what most people do is you hold it 5 to 10 years, really 3 to 5 now, just refinance. Pull that cash out. So your payment goes up $100, you raise the rent $100, and you pulled out $30,000 in cash.
How do you, so explain what refinancing is.
Refinancing is like selling it to yourself.
Okay.
So saying, hey, you bought this property for $150,000. You've been paying a mortgage for 5 years, so now you owe $100 still. Okay, but now it's worth $200. So that $100,000 gap we'll give to you in cash, but now you have a mortgage on this house for $200,000
But you already got $100,000 back.
cash.
Yeah.
So it's like cashing out your credit card, except you're not paying your credit card, your tenant is.
That's nice.
See what I'm saying?
So-
Or even if you live there, it's a good strategy sometimes, because a lot of times it'll only change your mortgage $60 a month. So
You're not paying rent.
and you're paying, mortgage rates are the best rates. It's the best kind of loan to have out. It's better than taking out a hard money loan. It's better to take out,
Word.
a loan against your mortgage, against your
That
house.
makes sense.
So throughout this process, I know people that's listening is gonna be like, I do this, I flip. How do you make the decisions to pay yourself versus investing money back into the next venture? And like, how are you personally leveling that off in your mind where, from your first, second, third
Open the
flip,
rabbit hole, 'cause I got the next question after that too.
say no more.
Yeah.
Your first, second flip, how did you sit there and say, okay, you know what, say you got back 50 grand from your first 2 flips and you sitting there, okay, I need some actual money to live, but also I know I just got a lump sum of money that I can see the vision that I can do a lot more with. So how are you,
Yeah. So
what's your structure for that?
the strategy that I learned off of Instagram, Beyond Win is his name, from Cleveland, in Cleveland. His strategy is, he's just another like Instagram personality influencer. His strategy is buy, flip, hold, repeat. Buy, flip, hold, repeat.
So you don't take nothing.
I ain't get there.
Oh.
The best thing about being an entrepreneur, entrepreneurialism, is that the word? Why can't I think of the word?
Sound good?
Sound good.
What's that?
Sound good though.
Entrepreneurialism.
Sound good? Sound good.
Did that sound right? It don't sound right.
Entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurship, what the
Ooh,
hell?
ladies!
Nah, we saying entrepreneurialism.
I like that.
Entrepreneurialism shit. Entrepreneurial relationship.
She had the rock, let her go up. Rock is the back full.
I couldn't get the word out the whole
She was
day.
ready to rap. She's like, it's James Harden. I'll let the travel go.
Right.
Entrepreneurialism. That's the name of the episode right there.
Entrepreneurialism. Oh man, that sounds stupid. So, with entrepreneurship, that's the cool thing is like you can switch it up every time. So if I flip a house and I make 50 and I need 50, I'm holding on to that 50. If I want to put 50 into my basketball company, I can. That's the thing. So I don't necessarily have I'll buy something to flip it or wholesale it, take those funds and buy it and hold something. and then repeat. That's how you build your portfolio. Now, with that being said, I also have another business that brings in income. So I try to structure it to where I can live off of that income.
Okay.
And my investments are my investments. So
They just reinvesting and reinvesting, but you got the
the
other
term
business.
hold, yeah. So if we got buy, flip, hold, right? The term hold to me doesn't necessarily mean buy a house or buy real estate. It could mean buy, flip, take those funds, put it in a house. Buy, flip, take those funds, put it in Starbucks stock. Buy, flip, take those funds, start another business, right? So it really just means take those funds and keep it in the cycle of investing. That's my strategy.
Okay.
So keep those same, almost like gambling. I don't really gamble, but if I did, I would go to the, blackjack
Blackjack.
table.
Gotta be blackjack.
You know what I mean? Gotta be blackjack. I would take what I win, and I would gamble the winnings, and whatever I bet in the first place, I would
Pop it back in your pocket.
cash those.
It's called
So
the
basically-
principle. We're keeping that right here, baby.
Exactly. So that it's the same concept. Though, what if I say right now I got $50 I want to invest, or 50,000 I want to invest, I'm gonna keep investing the 50. But when I make 75, that extra 25
Comes home.
it comes home. Yeah.
It comes
So-
home.
It is a word, by the way.
Entrepreneurialism.
Yeah, it's like the
Can
spirit.
you give us a definition?
It's the spirit or state of acting in an entrepreneurial manner.
We
So-
think.
And they're both words.
What's entrepreneurialism versus entrepreneurship? Can you put-
Entrepreneurship is like the noun form of being an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurialism is like the spirit of it.
I like
Wow.
that.